Record, it's Ellie. This is like a rant story time video, but it's real estate related, so that's why it's coming out on a real estate day. It's basically like a lesson, like, don't do this because I'll make a video about you. And if people around me like kind of put the pieces together, I didn't tell many people about the story, but the people who are involved with it, they know what I'm talking about. So like, So this happened last year when I was in partnership with someone and his fiance. His fiance had gotten a property under contract, and she was approached with a buyer. I already knew something was up because the girl who contacted her, that was the ugliest noise I've ever made. What was that? She said she worked with a company that I've worked with before. I bought a wholesale, I wish I got it. I would like to buy some properties right now. They bought a wholesale deal for me, and they view a lot of my properties. They communicate with me a lot, and I go up to their facility quite often. So let's backtrack a few days before. That company actually had a networking event at their office. I went. Everyone at the office knows me. Sometimes I see usual faces, but it's usually new people who come to the networking event. Well, one of the new faces I saw greeted me, we shook hands and everything, and she said that she has buyers, etc., etc. And she also gave me her business card. And I'm like, okay, cool. Absolutely nothing out of the ordinary here, just a regular networking event, normal. What is this? But for some reason, something told me to watch her and to really pay attention. Nothing happened that night, but I still had this weird vibe. So let's call the fiance. So let's call the fiance V. V calls me and tells me that someone's interested in the house that's under contract. We were already going to a seminar that afternoon, so we set the appointment for that morning. So V picks me up and we go to the house to visit this buyer, who claims that she's working with a company that I know pretty much the entire staff on a first name basis with. I even questioned it, and I was like, maybe they hired her that night or something? So we get there, and she shows up right after. Mind you, I just met her 2 days before, and then she walked right past me like she had never seen me ever in her life. I just thought maybe she forgot about me, no biggie. It was over 20 people there, so I was probably just a face in the crowd. We do a walkthrough of the house, and I just don't feel right. When you do a walkthrough of the house and you really walk through, you have to pay attention to everything and assess repairs and the age of everything. She literally was glancing into rooms and walking really fast. Literally like this. Oh, okay. Oh, that's that. Okay. I'm like, it seemed a bit off, but I just didn't say anything since she was already talking to V. And then I also started to notice that V was acting weird. I tried to ask if she was okay, but I didn't want to make the situation seem awkward. So while we were walking, I sort of stayed back a few feet to not make it feel so cramped like we're just a huge huddle. So I couldn't really hear what the conversation was about that they were having. And then we go outside, and that's usually, where you converse and, make negotiations and everything right before you, even if the seller is in the house, you just talk to each other, at your cars or whatever before you split, and usually you get a call back or a text, and it's like, hey, yeah, oh no, did I mess up my lipstick? Or you get a call or a text or even an email later. It's like, yeah, I accept that offer. We can go ahead and close. Or no, that's a little too high for me. We're not going to be able to do this one. Just whatever. But you usually talk right after you leave out of the front door when you're close to your cars, just so you can leave with a general understanding of what is going to happen next. Then, this girl says, my buyer's on the way. Girl! And then she said his name, and I immediately say, oh, I know him. And then she gives me this look. It was kind of like, bitch, okay. So then the buyer gets there, and he immediately greets me. Then he's confused, and he asks why I didn't send him the deal directly. I said I did, and he probably just missed the email. Meanwhile, V and the wholesaler are talking, and V is looking more and more upset. Now there's 4 of us, so I really don't have a chance to talk to her and see if everything's alright. And then We do another walkthrough. Dude, if you knew your buyer was coming, why didn't you just wait on him? And why did you pretend to represent their company? So we start doing a walkthrough, and he's talking directly to me because he knows that me and V hold the contract. And since the other wholesaler was there, we were going to give her a cut, just to keep the peace. And, he might have missed my email, so he wouldn't be here without her regardless. We're like, okay, we're just going to throw you some. But after we're done, then he asked me, how much did you say you wanted for this one? 54? And this girl blurts out, 52? Like, this is literally the face she made. 52? Like, she wasn't making eye contact with anyone. She literally was like, 52? I'm like, dumbass, why would you even... He's gonna negotiate anyway, probably. Why would you... Like, why would you say that? We don't negotiate down. The buyer does that. Literally, she intentionally tried to lose all of us money for no reason. So there was an awkward silence, as you could imagine, until my buyer says goodbye and that he'll get back with me. Not her. Me. So V and I leave, and in the car she asked me if I heard what the other girl was saying. And I said no. And the girl was going off on her about me, saying stuff like, well, why would you bring her? She's a wholesaler. Who brings a group of wholesalers to a property? And I could not believe what I was hearing. Because first of all, V and I were the same. We weren't separate. So that statement doesn't even make sense simply because we share the same company. And she was trying to talk to the actual seller of the property. Just so you can get a little bit of context, the seller was still living in the property while we were doing the walkthrough. That's why it was just so awkward for everything. Like, it wouldn't have been as awkward if it was a vacant property. But there was like, I think 2 to 3 other people in the house. And like, when you're doing a JV, which is a joint venture if you don't know, you don't do that. You always talk to the contract holder. You don't go around to the seller. And she wasn't even trying to be sneaky. She was trying to talk to the seller directly in our faces. And she was also saying like a bunch of slick stuff throughout the walkthrough. And it was making V so upset because like, what do you do in a situation like that? You don't want to embarrass yourself or the other person, so she was just stuck listening to her. Like, it was so bad that she had to take a smoke once we hit our stop. We just stopped at McDonald's before the seminar, and I got a frappe, and it was just so bad. She had to go outside. She was just like, dude, like, I would be stressed. Like, dude, I get it. And I felt so bad because I was walking behind them. Like, I was trying to just be out of the way. But I could have said something throughout the entire walkthrough because she was literally bullying her. And then she started texting her and saying off-the-wall things like she lied to her and a bunch of stuff like that. You're the one who claimed to work with a company that literally has nothing to do with you? What did V lie about? So that evening I followed up with the buyer just to see where he was with the numbers. And, as you can tell by the title, he passed on the deal. It was very unfortunate for everyone involved, especially for V because as far as I know, that was her first and last contract that she did by herself. Later, at another networking event, I saw the buyer again and asked him about that situation. Oh, sorry, I said that wrong. He actually approached me about it. Yeah, he asked me about it, and I would too! Like, it was just so weird. I explained to him that it was not supposed to flow like that, and we had no idea what was going on. So then I asked if he even knew the girl. He said that he had met her at a networking event once prior to the one that I met her at, but he never closed a deal with her. There isn't much of a moral to this story. It's basically saying that people out here are just shady. Real estate is such a great business with great people, but no matter where you go, there's always a few slime balls out there. But I'm not really into insulting people. She's probably just new and didn't know how to handle the situation. But of course, it still doesn't excuse how rude she was being to V. Even though our partnership is dissolved, I still have a lot of sympathy for her because along with that, she was going through a lot of things in her life. And it just sucks when people are rude. I guess that's the moral of the story. Don't be rude. Or else, I'll make a video about you. Not many people know this story, and I honestly doubt that the person I'm talking about will even see this video. She's not connected to me on social media, so she won't even see it if I share it. I just wonder if she remembers though. Like, I kind of want to get her perspective on it, but it's like, what could you even say? Okay, unicorns, that's the end of this video. Comment down below your crazy real estate stories. I might do a thing where when you comment your video. My gosh, I just have not had a good day with like formulating words. But comment your stories, and what I might do is make a compilation type video where I read all of your stories and we all have a laugh. I have another one that happened recently. Like, a guy tried to scam me into buying a house for $1,500. That's definitely going to be a video and a lesson. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.